a terrace and into the kitchen. I don't want no other way of living. Smile.
Good day, Ma'am Lailani Telendo, and to our classmates. By the way, Ramadan Mubarak to all brothers and sisters in Islam. We are the Group 5, and today we will present to you the artists and artisans. But before we begin, I want you to listen carefully. And here is your reporters.
Good day and Assalamu alaikum. I am Salma Pika, son of BSP LRG 3B.
Good day and Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. I'm Johara Giaber of BSP LRG 1B.
Good day, I am Julhani Tumbas III of BSPA LRG 1B.
Good day, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. I am Rowena Giamlot, BSPA LRG 3B.
Good day, everyone. My name is Marian Esther Acosta Lau of BSPA LRG.
Artist and artisan. So what is artist and artisan? So according to the first episode of the video series, New Ways of Seeing, the painting discovered and caves are significant. The artists of those cave paintings invented a way to get third-dimensional into the world of two-dimensional and attach their own values and ideas. So, ayun sa unang yugto ng serye ng video, ito ay ang mga bagong paraan ng seeing o pagtingin na nagbibigay diin sa kalagahan na hindi lamang sa pagtuklas ng mga paintings ng kuweba. So, ang mga artist ay nag-iimbento din sila ng way o paraan kung paano nila makuha ang third-dimensional into the world of two-dimensional at i-attach ang kanilang sariling kahalagahan at mga idea dito. So, because of that, the history of the art is formed. The hunting scene, animals, symbols all around the world during the Stone Age. So, maliwanag na tinutukoy niya dito ay ang mga drawings o painted na larawan ng mga hayop, eksena ng pangangaso at iba't ibang symbolic figures na nilikha noong panahon ng bato. So, ang mga halimbawa nito ay nakakalat sa buong mundo, mula sa France, Spain, Namibia, Australia, Argentina, and etc. Of course, these works were not yet appreciated, let alone be called art, out of boredom, curiosity. New mode techniques and thoughts are brought to light in an array of artworks that instantiate the wealth that can be done with the artist's vision. If the artist's potential is harnessed, realized, they can utilize the surroundings to create, such as expressive ideas, feelings, in their artworks. So, ang mga bagong modes o techniques at thoughts o kaisipan ay nilalahad ng isang hanay ng mga artworks na nagbibigay ng kayamanan na maaaring gawing gamit ang pananaw ng mga artist. If the artist is harnessed and realized, maaari nilang gamitin ang kapaligiran upang lumikha ng tulad ng pagpapahayag ng idea, damdamin sa kanilang artworks. The impulsive to create is at the core of human civilization. Much like the impulse to communicate through language, artists embody culture into their art.
The Stonehenge, Wiltshire, England, of the Neolithic era or New Stone Age.
The Artisans and the Guild. Museum sheltered artwork, interesting objects, centuries old of renowned artists from all of the world for us to see. Magnificent structures that are often appreciated not only for their historical significance but more so for their artistic characteristics, making them unique. Example, the Gothic cathedrals and other mega structures, the all of the built-in. Craftsmen and the builders in the past did not have to sophisticated tools, technology, and principles. Gothic Cologne in Germany. Gerhard Kahl Mansion started the project in 46 ended wrongly 6 years later. Skills are ended to obtain craftsmanship education to particular guild guide. You have to be an apprentice. The commitment to work together as a collective is important. Guilds are type of the social fellowship with a rules, custom, rights, and responsibility to form with it the artisans, develop and improve their crafts, immense experience and skill. Master artisans craftsmen are open to hiring apprentice who would be under his. In the context of structure site, the master mentioned observance is marked by the humorous men of varying artistic powers and skill. Carpenters, Smith, Glazier. This brought to light various ways of thinking about the transferring knowledge and skill by visualizing and articulating principle and processing end of the some knowledge that often article obtained is hard to pass on because it takes explaining a particular process. And in visual art, an example of the artist strongly influenced by the abred Dorian. His father was goldsmith and he too was a naturally apprentice but later shifted to visual art. It was a custom to travel after completing apprenticeship to gather more experience and knowledge elsewhere. His life was ripe with travel film of fortune because of his wide knowledge. He published a number of books and treatises, including those who tackle particular skills and artists, which would be later on useful more other artisans and craftsmen. Artisans become prevalent in the Philippines as well during the Spanish colonial period. Secular art religion. It was a true copying the ways art. Prayers, being non-artists themselves, provided reference to artists to use. Spanish commitment used a lot of artists to carve, paint, and engrave images for church and public state. Different artists from the Ban, Rizal, Laguna focus on different features, manners. Project Kesame is collective and endeavor among artists and advocated who aim to promote the art of true engagement and appreciation of ceiling painting and more than church in photo. One example is Spanish architecture that has been documented is a Church of the Most Holy Trinity in Bicol. Built in 1822, the ceiling painting and were redid traploy, skull are depicting biblical and tones. In 2003, is become a national historical landmark. It was therefore unfortunate that his church was one of those nearly damaged during the devastating earthquake in Bohol in 2013.
Yan na yung kanyang details, no? Yung closure details ng Cologne Cathedral, no? Yung kanyang stained glass sa Cologne, Germany noong 2015. The gilt nick under the four crown saints. Ito na yung mga rebulto ng Four Crown Saints, no, na noong 1416. This was commissioned by the Arte dei Maestre de Pietra e Legname, o ang Guild of Wood and Stone Cutters, doon sa Orsan Michael, Florence. Ito naman ang self-portrait ni Albrecht Dürer noong 1500 ng oil on the lime panel. Alt Pinakothek or ang Munich Collection. And lastly, ang kuha, no, ng litrato sa Church ng Most Holy Trinity sa Loay, Bohol, locally referred to as Santissima Trinidad Parish.
The Artisanist Studio. Transformation of craftsman to artist, independent artist. Widespread of patronization of secular art, religious pieces. Before the Renaissance period, artwork were actually unsigned. Artists claiming authorship for their work by affixing their signature, not just the artwork itself but the art form, style, and technique. Today, artist studio have been a place of interest for the public. It's interesting to see and learn while creativity manifests itself. The studio dates back from Renaissance, therein artists flexed their relationship with their patrons as a site there where negotiation and works are made. Studio and bottega, the latter is where the work actually happens. In France, in the other hand, academies and art salons became popular as they did not only support the productions of art but the discourse around them. Criticism and analysis were highlighted as integral part of art engagement, and therefore the display of artwork through official art salons were thought for to be included in an exhibition. It deemed honor, especially it did not take while before it was considered as arbite of standards and taste.
Beginnings of the introductional revelation hand and interesting unification for the artist. The competition for the events, realizing the artist from the limitation that the effective the way in which their work this the included the ability on probability for the materialist, probably a case and fine in parts. More the fans enjoyed printing on their own behavior, greeting where they wanted to greet. It was the daytime that a shot of the style and deployment in side by side following artists to full a graph and the potential for the artist licensure. During the later part of the 118 artists beginning to the question the materialists of the starting artist training and education, but it was during the 119 that arts was truly liberated from the transaction for the past. It was done that artists around the freedom to the articular of distance distance away of the Great Protocol.
James Abbott McNeill Whistler. Ito na yung artist studio niya from sketchbook noong 1854 to 55. Black ink on off-white wallpaper. Gift of Margaret C. Burwell, Helen L. King, and Sybil A. Walk noong 1970 sa Metropolitan Museum of Art.
The terrain in which the artist traverses is becoming increasingly the last century. This network is the art world. Howard S. Becker's Art Worlds in 1982, he asserted that all artistic work, like all human activity, involves the joint activity of a number, often a large number of people. Dahil sa kanilang kooperasyon, ang likhang sining na nakikita at naririnig natin ay kalaunan ay magpapatuloy. The work always shows signs of that cooperation. An example of a multi-level platform where different players in what we call an art world can engage, interact, and flex their act muscles is the International Art Fair like the Art Basel in Hong Kong. Production process. The process of creating an artwork does not necessarily follow a linear progression. One of the things that one must accept is the fact that the arts have dimension to it, allowing it to fully harness its creative potential. The process is essentially tripartite: the number 2, production, number 3, post-production. The two major awards given to artists in the Philippines are the Orden ng Pambansang Alagad ng Sining or Order of National Artists and Gawad sa Manilikha ng Bayan o ng National Living Treasure Award. The conferment of the Order of National Artists is the highest national recognition given to Filipino individuals who have made significant contributions to the development of Philippine arts, namely music, dance, theater, visual arts, literature, film, broadcast arts, and architecture and allied arts. The order is jointly administered by the National Commission for Culture and Arts or NCCA and the Culture Center of the Philippines or CCP, and conferred by the President of the Philippines upon recommendation by both institutions last NCCA 2015. The very first recipient of this award was painter. He is Fernando Amor Solo, who was touched as the grand old man of Philippine art. He was the sole awardee in the year 1972, a national artist for visual arts. At present, there are 66 awardees of the prestigious honor across different art forms. The Gawad sa Manilikha ng Bayan of the National Living Treasures, created last 1992 under the Republic Act number 7355, also under the Juris National Commission for Culture and the Arts or NCCA. It was first conferred to 3 outstanding artists in music and last 1993. They are Dinaw Bilog, a master of Ambahan Poetry, Masinging, Master of Bardi's Tradition Musically Instrument of the Palawan People, Sulaiman, a Master of Kutyapi and other instruments. The evolution of the artist throughout history is one of the most interesting progression in the affairs of man. From the banalities of the works he created to assist and inform the everyday, he was caught in the midst of prevailing and shifting ideologies and utilized the power of the creativity and imagination. In attempt to grapple with the world around him, there is much responsibility and expectation ascribed to artists. As Woodrow Wilson in 1913 relates, "You are not here merely to make a living. You are here in order to enable the world to live more amply, with greater vision, with a finer spirit of hope and achievement. You are here to enrich the world, and you impoverish yourself if you forget that errand." What a nice sayings, nice thought. And that's it for today. I hope na may natutunan kayo sa aming tinakel na lessons. Have a nice day to all.